A place where freedom is a distant dream, where borders are closely guarded, and even thinking about leaving could mean a death sentence. In today's world of open borders and travel freedom, North Korea stands out as an exception, a country where escaping is not just hard, it's merely impossible. And yet, year after year, a few brave souls risk everything to escape from this secretive, tightly controlled regime. But why is it so difficult to leave North Korea? What makes it the hardest country in the world to escape? North Korea has been called a hermit kingdom for a reason. Since its formation after World War II, it has sealed itself off from the outside world, operating with a level of secrecy that is hard to imagine. The government of North Korea, led by the Kim dynasty, has built a society where loyalty to the state is enforced at every level, with a strict hierarchy and an unforgiving approach to anyone who dares to defy it. The leadership uses intense propaganda, surveillance, and punishment to keep its people within the country's borders and obedient to the regime. But there's more to the story. The first barrier to escaping North Korea is psychological. From birth, North Korean citizens are taught to view the ruling Kim family almost as gods. State propaganda is everywhere, on TV, in schools, in newspapers, reinforcing the message that North Korea is a paradise and that the outside world is filled with danger, poverty, and chaos. Most North Koreans have never seen the outside world. They have no access to international news, internet, or social media. Everything they know comes from state-controlled media, which paints North Korea as the most advanced, most just society on Earth. So even the idea of leaving can seem terrifying or incomprehensible. But for those who do dream of escape, the next challenge is the country's physical border. North Korea's borders are tightly controlled, especially the one shared with South Korea, which is one of the most heavily fortified in the world. The Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, spans about 250 kilometers and is filled with landmines, barbed wire, guard posts, and soldiers. Trying to cross the DMZ is almost guaranteed to end in death or capture. So most people who attempt to flee choose another route, crossing the northern border into China. But crossing into China is also no simple task. North Korea's border with China is patrolled by armed guards, surveillance cameras, and electric fences. Guards have orders to shoot anyone attempting to cross without permission, and those orders are enforced ruthlessly. There are stories of entire families trying to cross only to be caught and return to face severe punishment. In recent years, the government has added even more security measures, including hidden cameras and infrared sensors along the border. They want to make sure no one leaves undetected. For those who manage to slip past the border patrol, the journey is far from over. Reaching China is just the beginning of a long, dangerous path. China, North Korea's closest ally, has an agreement with Pyongyang to send back any North Koreans found on Chinese soil, so defectors have to stay hidden, constantly on the move, and avoid Chinese authorities at all costs. If caught, they face deportation back to North Korea, where they are treated as criminals, often subjected to torture, imprisonment, and even execution. To the North Korean government, escaping the country is seen as the ultimate act of betrayal. But why does North Korea go to such lengths to prevent its citizens from leaving? The answer lies in control. The government sees each citizen as an asset that it owns. By controlling the population, the leadership maintains its power, ensuring that people remain dependent on the state for survival. If North Koreans were allowed to leave freely, it would expose the harsh realities of life within the country and undermine the state's propaganda that North Korea is a workers' paradise. Furthermore, the government fears that defectors could become witnesses, revealing secrets about the regime's inner workings to the world. The government's control over citizens doesn't end at the border. North Korea has a unique system known as the Songbun, a social classification system that categorizes people into loyal, wavering, or hostile classes. Based on family background, perceived loyalty, and association with the state, each citizen is assigned a Songbun status, which determines almost everything in their lives, where they can work, live, and even whether their children can attend school. Those with a low Songbun status are often given the hardest labor like mining or farming and are kept under strict surveillance. The Songbun system is yet another layer of control, keeping the population divided and mistrustful of each other. And if someone is caught trying to escape, the punishment isn't limited to them alone. In North Korea, there's a policy called guilt by association, which means that the family members of a defector, parents, siblings, even children can be punished. They may be imprisoned, sent to labor camps, or removed from their jobs and social positions. For many North Koreans, the fear of retribution against their loved ones is enough to deter them from even considering escape. For those who still decide to risk it all, reaching freedom often means traveling through multiple countries with no guarantees of safety. Many North Korean defectors make their way through a dangerous network known as the Underground Railroad, which is a series of secret routes and safe houses that lead from China to countries like Thailand or Laos, where they can seek asylum. This journey can take months, sometimes years, and is filled with obstacles, dangerous river crossings, encounters with human traffickers, and constant fear of being caught. Some escapees rely on the help of missionaries or NGOs that work in secret to assist defectors, but the journey is never easy, and many do not survive. Life as a defector outside North Korea is no guarantee of safety or happiness either. Those who manage to make it to South Korea, where they are welcomed and given citizenship, face a difficult adjustment. Many defectors struggle with trauma, guilt, and culture shock as they try to adapt to a world that is far different from the one they left. left. Some even find themselves isolated, as South Koreans may view defectors with a mix of sympathy and suspicion. And perhaps most difficult of all, defectors often cannot communicate with or return to their families in North Korea, knowing that any attempt to reach out could put their loved ones in danger. And North Korea hasn't stopped hunting defectors. In recent years, the government has been accused of tracking and even assassinating high-profile defectors who speak out against the regime. Stories have emerged of North Korean operatives tracking defectors to other countries and silencing them to prevent information from leaking. It's a grim reminder that for those who escape, freedom often comes at a high cost. Yet despite all of these obstacles, people continue to try. Driven by hunger, desperation, or the hope of freedom, defectors make the difficult choice to escape, risking everything for a chance at a better life. Each story of escape is a testament to human resilience, to the power of hope even in the most oppressive conditions. The outside world may never fully understand the level of courage it takes to leave North Korea, to face the dangers of the journey, and to adapt to a new life. But these stories shine a light on what life is like under the rule of one of the most secretive regimes in the world. North Korea remains the hardest country to escape, a fortress of control where loyalty is demanded, borders are guarded, and fear is a constant companion. It's a place where the desire for freedom comes with unimaginable risks and where even the smallest acts of defiance are met with crushing consequences. But for those who do manage to break free, their stories remind us of the strength of the human spirit and the lengths people will go to find a life they can call their own. And as the world watches, the plight of North Korean defectors raises questions about freedom, justice, and the lengths some governments will go to keep their people under control. This is why North Korea is more than just a country. It's a reminder of how precious freedom is and how hard people will fight to claim it.